Lacey Lawson.
I'm Addison Winchell, and this is ACTV News, your home for all things Alcorn Central.
This is our first episode in what we hope will become a weekly series focused on keeping you engaged, informed, and entertained with everything happening in and around the Bears Den.
Let's move into this episode with some past events that you may have missed.
If you are freezing during this weather because you didn't pick up your Letterman jacket from Balfour this morning, you can contact them at 662-286-0235.
And shout out to those who went to Chick-fil-A on Tuesday and ordered through the mobile app to help out the boys basketball team.
Now, let's take a look at what's to come.
Volunteers are needed for the annual Kiwanis Father-Daughter Ball. The date for this event is February 9th. Make sure you contact Emily McGrath for more info about that. Her email is emily@franklinagency.net. The phone number to contact is 662-284-8317.
Don't let this year pass you by. Yearbooks are on sale until January 30th. You can order online or in person for $65 and an additional $5 fee if you want to add your name to the cover. See Coach Mass to order and get your yearbook before you run out of time.
Girls, if you're feeling pretty, the annual ACHS Most Beautiful Beauty Review will be held on February 7th at 6 p.m. at the Corinth Coliseum. All contestant forms are due to Mrs. Glidewell by January 30th.
If you haven't signed up for the Senior Sounds Remind and you're planning on being in the show, information and instructions will be posted in the Senior Remind and on Canvas. Auditions and the parent meeting will be held on Sunday, February 1st at 2 p.m. Auditions will be held in the auditorium and the parent meeting will be in the cafeteria.
Unless, of course, you and your family have been experiencing flu-like symptoms.
As you may know, the flu has officially hit Alcorn Central High School.
Just last week, we had 2 days where the attendance report saw more than 50 student absences.
What are some things we can do to avoid catching the flu?
Well, for starters, make sure to frequently wash your hands, cover all coughs and sneezes, and preferably avoid sick people. You can also be sure to get your flu shots, get enough sleep, stay hydrated, and eat proper nutrient-dense foods.
Now, let's change gears and hear a little bit from the sports desk with our good friend Kinsley.
What's up, Golden Bears? I'm Kinsley Moore, and welcome to your ACTV Sports Update, where we keep you locked in on everything happening around Alcorn Central. Let's jump right in. Basketball recap this week. On Monday night, the Lady Bears were on the road in division play against Boone. Despite the tough matchup, they kept competing but fell to the Lady Devils by a final score of 76-44. The Lady Bears now stand at 4-14 on the season. Now, over to the Golden Bears. The Golden Bears also faced them on Monday night in a conference matchup. The Bears fought hard, but the Blue Devils pulled away late, taking the win 80-53. Even with the loss, the Golden Bears sit at a strong 12-8 on the season. The Lady Bears and Golden Bears were also in action last night on the road to Ripley. We'll have a full rundown on that and more next week during our sports recap. Switching from the court to the lane, both the boys and girls bowling teams are currently competing in the Class 1 Northern Regional Tournament. They are bowling for a first or second place finish to qualify for state, and if needed, a wild card spot is still in the play. We wish our bowlers the best of luck as they roll for a state berth. Looking ahead at next week's schedule, mark your calendars and come out to support our Bears. January 26th, archery versus Walnut. January 27th, basketball versus Kossuth. And January 30th, basketball versus Belmont. Let's pack the gym, show up loud, and support Alcorn Central Athletics. I'm Kinsley Moore, and this has been your ACTV Sports Update from the hardwood to the headlines. Back to you at the desk.
Now let's take a special look inside of a classroom for our Learning in Action Special Report.
Hello everyone, I'm Ella Lacey. And I'm Destiny Shaw. We are in studio today for our Learning in Action Classroom Spotlight. For the last 2 weeks in Miss Smith and Mr. Gladney's CCR classes, Miss Nikki Harville from Aiming for Healthy Families taught us many lessons that will provide useful and future relationships. She helped us understand dealing with past baggage, healthy communication skills, STIs, and all things healthy relationships. This course was a very hands-on experience with several activities to help engage the students and help them better understand the course material. We were given a workbook with the class information as well as interactive worksheets to create further understanding of our past, current, and future relationships. My favorite part was how interactive the class was. I think it really helped to deepen my understanding. My favorite part was how Miss Nikki made the class an open discussion about the topics rather than just a lecture. That's a look inside a class this week in our Learning in Action Special Report.
Thank you, Destiny and Ella. Now we turn to our resident science guy for a check at the forecast. Luke, It's looking like some cold temps are around to stay.
Well, good morning, Golden Bears. As you can see, I'm clearly not Luke Williams. Fortunately, that sickness we've been talking about has passed itself around to our weatherman. So I'm Coach Mask. I'm just stepping in for your ACTV weather forecast today. First and foremost, you should prepare your hot chocolate and have your fireplaces going because we've got a winter storm sweeping across the country, and it's arriving early this weekend. So today, on this cold but not yet snowy Friday, temperatures are going to peak at around the 40-degree point today. As we see the middle of the day, this dip will occur tonight around 22 degrees this evening. Precipitation will be quickly picking up in the late afternoon and into the evening. We're probably not going to see this come around until later tonight when we start seeing in the late evening hour around the 7 to 9 o'clock period. It's going to depend exactly your location based solely off of how much moisture is in the air. But when we take a look at our 6-day forecast, there's a big question on what's going to look like for us. And of course, many of you are hoping for winter wonderland. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to make it as snowy and as white as many of you would be expecting. Just taking a look at what the 6-day forecast, our major focus is obviously on this weekend. So taking a look here at Saturday and Sunday, this is when we expect to see our most precipitation for the weekend. Temperatures are going to plummet and will stay below freezing pretty much for at least a 72-hour period. In isolated locations, it may stick around a little bit longer. Just looking here on Saturday, 100% chance of wintry mixed precipitation. There's a lot of warm air aloft right between the surface of the ground and the clouds. All of that precipitation that's frozen right now, by the time it reaches the ground, will melt. So instead of falling as snow, it's going to mostly fall as ice and sleet. That is what's being predicted by the National Weather Service at this very moment. 27 degrees, your high on Saturday. Lows across the next several days, well below freezing. 21 on Saturday, and we just barely climb above that low point Saturday into our high on Sunday, where we're expecting another 90% chance of winter precipitation. That also coming in the sense of a wintry mix. The high on Sunday creeps just to 25 degrees, and we're dropping into the single digits in this major ice event that many are expected to impact travel conditions and potentially hazardous conditions staying at home. Make sure you're checking on everybody in your neighborhoods and through your family. Looking at the rest of the week, starting on Monday, we'll give a high of 25 degrees. The sun will show its face once more, but that temperature is going to be so cold, it's not really going to make much of a difference. Looking into the rest of the week, we barely climb above freezing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Some later precipitation chances coming up later in the next week. As storm develops, we'll see how much moisture sticks around. Winter Storm Fern is sweeping across the country. Millions could be affected. Make sure to stay warm and stay safe. That's all we've got for ACTV weather. We'll be back next week. Hopefully our weatherman will be feeling better.
As you bundle up over the next few days, remember that you are in control of your actions. Let's take a moment for our character check of the week.
This week's character focus is grit. It all comes down to one big question. Are you driven by praise or by pride? If you're driven by praise, you work harder when people clap, like, or hype you up. But here's the problem. There will be days when the praise stops. No shout-outs, no likes, no recognition. But if you're driven by pride, your motivation comes from the inside. It's about knowing you gave your best effort even when no one is watching. That kind of pride builds grit. It helps you push through the criticism, setbacks, and tough days. Being proud of yourself doesn't mean you have a big ego. It means having humility, knowing you can grow and stay focused on your purpose. When you find your why you're working, practicing, studying, or showing up, it's easier to stay strong. Challenge for this week, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Choose pride over praise, purpose over popularity, and grit over giving up. That's your character check for this week. Stay gritty.
Thank you for those words of wisdom.
From the den to the headlines, this has been the first edition of ACTV News.
On behalf of the Alcorn Central Golden Bear family, the AC Media team, and our ACTV crew, I'm Addison Winchell.
And I'm JC Lawson. See you next week on ACTV News.
We are AC.